the next One Piece, while Jimbei makes an honorable petition to assist Luffy on his noble quest, Crocodile just says, "Shut up, bitch, you need me. Stupid little monkey boy, piece of shit. Let me out or I'll poop in your shoes."
Oh my god, Crocodile would. Imagine him as a petulant cat. You tell him no, you tell him get off the table, and you squirt him with the squirt bottle, and he jumps off the table, and then he pees on your couch. While making eye contact.
King of the Wetness gonna take you down, gonna take you down. Marineford Arc, yeah, it's getting hot now. It's getting hot now. King of the Wetness gonna take you down, gonna take you down. Marineford Arc, yeah, it's getting hot now. It's getting hot now. We've got a multi-act season, 1, 2, 3. So come aboard to brave this sea. Supernovas and mystery. Warlords, wars, and tragedy. King of the Wetness gonna take you down. Gonna take you down. Marineford Arc, yeah, it's getting hot now. It's getting hot now.
Celestial dragons, lowest of low. Overwhelming enemies, it's time to go. Luffy's gonna fight for his big bro, so now it's time to start the show. Hello, fellow jailbreakers, and welcome to another episode of King of the What Now, a One Piece podcast that's reviewing the anime from the very beginning. As always, I'm your host, Joel, longtime fan of the series, and today I'm on my way down to single-handedly save this podcast.
And I'm the ghost of the show, Kat, and I am just so grateful that my boss is coming to save my job. Go, host! Go, Joel!
Ma'am, there's a prison break happening. You should probably stop doing the celebratory dancing.
Joel!
Oh, absolutely. Before we get into the show.
Would your stand be named Absolutely?
I think, yeah, I guess so.
It could be named Absolutely Fantastic.
Okay. We can get into chatting with the hosts, if you so like. Have we been doing anything, really?
I've been reading Jade War.
Okay, awesome. Tell me about that.
Okay, so if you guys don't remember from when I discussed Jade, the other one, Jade City?
Yeah,
Jade City, so. There we go. I was going to call it Jade Legacy, but that's the third one that's not out yet. Anyway.
And Jade Chan is Jackie Chan's niece in the animated series Jackie Chan Adventures.
Have you been watching Jackie Chan Adventures this past week?
Oh god, we should do a bonus episode on that. That'd be so fun. No, I haven't been watching it this
then
last week.
Then it doesn't belong in chatting with the host. It's my turn to talk. My time to shine. Jade War. If you don't remember from when I talked about Jade City, this is a series of Wuxia, which is spelled like it should be pronounced Wuxia, but that's just because I'm coming at it from an Americentric point of view. Thanks to good buddy Trey for telling me how to pronounce it correctly. But it's a Wuxia fantasy about these two gangster families that are at war with one another and how they are relating to each other and their community in this rapidly globalizing society. So they were kind of an isolated island nation for a long time, and now other countries have gained interest in them, and they have to navigate, like, do we have interests overseas? Can we only focus on our clan business? And it's just really good.
Interesting. So it's like a fictional society with just regular, everyday gangs like you would find in New York.
No, I think I said it was a fantasy story. They've got magic.
Okay, that's fair. I forget that Wuxia uses magic, so I just wanted to double check whether it was like a historical, but is there a word for that? For like a story that takes place like in the real world, but in the past, but a fake past? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's alternative history.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
We have a friend who really liked those in college, but no. So the magic system in these books is very interesting and very Sandersonian, which is probably why I like it. But basically, Jade, like the gemstone Jade, is bioenergetic. So if people touch it, they get magic powers. They can be stronger, they can be faster, they can
be better or harder.
They can deflect, like push waves of energy out from themselves.
Okay.
Or they can do stuff to other people's bodies. That's called channeling. So they can heal, or they can channel a bunch of energy into the person and kill them.
Okay, so without saying their name, tell me who your favorite character is and describe them as the one who has a tiger for a pet, or the one that does pull-ups or something.
The one who murders.
Okay, yeah, you like the one who murders. In a story of gangsters, is there really only the one?
You know, No, like, there are lots of people who have done murders, but there's really only one who, like, he murders.
The ultimate murderer, so to speak.
Yes, absolutely. But the cool thing about this magic system is that the more jade you wear, the stronger your abilities are, but genetically, you only have the ability to carry so much. And if you carry more than you're actually capable,
your
like,
back breaks.
More than your body can handle, not quite, you start succumbing to, like, a madness called the itches. And there's stuff where other countries have developed drugs so that their citizens can carry jade, like their military can, because most people who aren't ethnically from this island can't carry it without going mad immediately.
Mm-hmm. Do they have, like, a sense? Do they have an invisible mana bar and they can tell how much jade they can equip? Or do they just have to mess around and find out?
Mess around and find out, pretty much.
That's not good.
They pick up more and they're like, oh, that's too many, and they put it down. And I think to a certain extent, if you are ethnically Kikonese, Kikon is the island nation, I think that you can train yourself to carry more. But if you're, like, mixed blood or you're a foreigner, then it's very unlikely that you can carry any or more than just a little bit.
I see. So now, without having read it, I know nothing about these books. You haven't been discussing it with me. My guess is that there is at least one scene where someone is, like, covered in jade against their will and they go crazy. They get the scritches. That's just a guess. You don't have to confirm or deny, but just seems like an obvious way to exploit the weakness.
Yeah, no, it does seem like an obvious form of torture. Oh, and also if you have been wearing your jade for a long time and then you take it off, you have withdrawal symptoms.
Of course.
So you get, like, super sick. It's really cool. It's a really neat magic system. The world building of the political interests of all these different countries is really cool. When the third one comes out, we might do a bonus episode on it because I like it a lot. I think this is probably my favorite book I've read so far this year.
Wow, that's awesome.
And that's what I've been doing this week. We watched the first episode of the new season of Fruits Basket. And
yeah, Fruits Basket exists. It's very interesting because the first two seasons had a character who is obviously set up as not sympathetic, and basically, I know that there are people who do not like the word crazy to describe, fictional characters or erratic behavior, but just, like, does not seem to operate under the normal set of rational rules that society tends to operate under. And then season 3 comes around, they're like, hey, did you know that this person is only messed up because of a very specific family relation? And chances are they'll probably be able to be redeemed. And I don't know if that's where it's going to go, but I don't know. I just feel like shonen typically has maybe some talking, but ultimately it's going to come down to someone punching someone else really hard. And shoujo has this kind of, like, there might be some punching, but they're going to end the day by empathizing or whatever. And so Fruits Basket is written for women. And so I was kind of always suspecting that the main character was going to befriend everyone. That's how they're going to solve the problem. And now it seems to have been made even more explicit to me that, okay, this character that you thought was basically irredeemable, turns out they're irredeemable for a reason. So if you can empathize with that reason, maybe you'll find a way to break the curse or save the day or whatever's going to happen.
yeah, and it's a bummer because I really just wanted to see them get punched in the face.
You wanted all 12 zodiac animals to unleash their hybrid form, like it was that one fighting game where you can be like animal people, and they all just like take turns beating the crap out of this person.
Yes, exactly. So that's something we did this past week. We didn't really watch a lot of Black Clover because we had stuff to watch for the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. We just as of recording right now, we just finished recording the Naruto episode, which will be out by the time this episode comes out. But it was a lot of fun. It was interesting to go back and relive Naruto. Like, I watched all anime when I was, 10 to 14 or whatever. Anything that was on Toonami, I watched it. And now going back, it's like, oh, these episodes hit a little different in certain places. But in other places, I appreciate it even more because of, whatever.
Yeah, so if you want to hear our thoughts on Naruto, go ahead and scoot on over to our Patreon.
Absolutely.
Unless you're already there, in which case you are cool beans.
Everyone else is just toasty beans, but the people who have gone to Patreon, they have cooled off and they are now cool beans.
Joel, have you been reading anything this past week?
No.
Liar!
What?
We've been reading Elantris for the podcast.
Okay, but we're going to do an episode on Elantris. We've been reading Elantris, another book by Brandon Sanderson. I think we've described this before, but just in case, Sanderson has about 4 main series of fantasy stories. Every November, we're going to release a bonus episode on the next installment of the Stormlight Archive, and if we're still podcasting in like 6 years, we might have to change that up because we'll have finally caught up to all of the books, but for the next couple of years, that's the plan. And then some other month earlier in the year, we'll have like one that's in the first 6 months, and then we'll have the one in November. We'll review all of his other books in chronological order. So by the time this episode comes out, that bonus episode will also be out. The bonus episode on Elantris, a cool world in which there's a city that gods go to, but then one day something goes terribly wrong, and now instead of being this great blessing, there's a great curse. Will the main character be able to solve the mystery, or is he just doomed to forever be one of these horrible monsters and basically lose his sanity?
Find out next time.
Absolutely. I have checked out the new Monster Hunter Rise. I'm of 2 minds of this game.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You said in the episode I just reviewed, episode 102, that chatting with the hosts was for us talking about things we'd recommend. So before you go into Monster Hunter, you have to tell me, would you recommend people play it?
If you have already played a Monster Hunter game and you have likely already bought Rise and you're probably already like through, triple S rank, you will probably enjoy this game. If you have never played it, there are a lot of menus. There's a lot of, it feels like you're reading the Wikipedia as it explains all these different things. It doesn't tell you what different status effects are, and it's hard for me to tell when I'm afflicted with them. However, it is a fairly interesting game. There's multiplayer options, and playing with friends is amazing. And there are a lot of monsters. Many of them have unique designs. Many of them are just giant velociraptors or T-Rexes. But if you enjoy kind of repetitive gameplay where you're grinding out better materials so you can take on harder tasks, this game has got you covered.
Excellent.
Yes. And that's been Chatting with the Hosts.
Excellent.
Yeah. We just finished watching episodes 440 through 446. I guess technically 441 through 446. And I will give a succinct summary now.
Can I say something that made me go, On our scratch pad where we list the episodes we watched, it says 441 to 440. And so
we went backwards in time.
Yeah.
My bad.
But anyway, succinct summary.
Right, so Luffy has recovered from the surgery that saved his life, but he's still recovering. He collapses, and they're like, you're just gonna have to sleep it off, man, recover your strength. And Luffy goes, no, I absolutely have to save my brother. So he's given emergency energy hormones that will give him strength for the next day or so, but then when it peters out, he will really feel the effects. So who knows if that will come back in some kind of like bites Luffy in the butt kind of way, but for now he's back on his feet. They go down to level 6, Isolation Hell, where Ace is being
Stored?
Yeah, he's not a sack of vegetable. But yes, he was being held on level 6. They go down to rescue him. He's already been taken. The Ace you're looking for is in another castle. And then Hannibal releases sleeping gas into this floor, and they are trapped. They can't get out. Inazuma is revealed to have eaten the snip fruit so he can turn his hands into scissors. I wonder if he can turn his feet into scissors. That's not as practical, but I don't know. Like, what's the extent of his abilities?
How much of his body can he turn to scissors at any one particular time?
Absolutely. He's able to use those powers to clog up the sleeping gas, but now they're trapped. They have no way of getting out. And then here comes a familiar face, a laughing maniacal bastard, head of an evil empire of crime. Sir Crocodile has joined the chat and offers a hand to Luffy. Luffy initially declines, knowing that you can't trust Crocodile, but Ivankov reveals that he knows Crocodile's secret, and so long as he knows it, he'll be able to keep Crocodile in line. Very interesting. The crew start to run upstairs with all of the Newcama people. A lot of them are coming out to help them escape. And Bonchan's back on his feet. He's also been given energy emergency hormones, and they're fighting their way out. Hannibal starts to freak out because Buggy's causing problems on level 2, Luffy's causing problems on level 5, and they thought Luffy was dead. And also, Blackbeard is here, apparently attacking the prison starting at level 1 and working his way down. Who knows what he wants, but Hannibal's freaking out. But who saves him other than Magellan, who is able to trap Buggy on level 2, who releases Shiryu of the Rain, the jail manager, I think is his title, in order to take care of Blackbeard, and he's on his way down to level 5 to take care of Luffy. All Hannibal has to do is hold out. And what a fight it is. Hannibal actually proves that he's not a complete clown. He is able to stand up to Luffy, punching him multiple times. He gives this amazing speech about innocent people and how they can't rest while pirates are out rampaging the world. And he will not yield to Luffy because he has the side of righteousness on his side.
And you even pointed out that Hannibal took the attack that finished Rob Lucci. And
absolutely, yes. Luffy used Jet Gatling. It wasn't as emotional as when he used against Rob Lucci, so I'd argue it was probably stronger when he beat Rob Lucci with it. But yeah, Hannibal is kind of a beast for about half an episode. But then, who shows up but Blackbeard, who just mad disrespect to Hannibal. And I don't like Hannibal, but I don't kick him in the face, man. And Blackbeard basically says, there is no right and wrong in this world. It's all chaos. And he says some things that seem to specifically be meant to rile Luffy up. And that's where the episode ends. That has been your succinct summary.
That was a great succinct summary. So let me ask you, do you think... Well, I suppose we should do the episode in the normal order. I'm just so excited. But when you said that Blackbeard said there is no right or wrong, there's only chaos, Blackbeard represents the dark side of freedom.
Okay.
Like, Luffy is the idealized form of freedom where everybody does what they want and that's good for each other, because sometimes me doing what I want means rescuing you from a bad spot.
Yeah, I would say that Luffy believes in bonds with other people. If you do something mean to Vivi or Sanji or, you know, one of his friends, one of the people he chooses to protect, he will fight you. And he's willing to admit that if he loses, he doesn't have the right to disagree, I guess, but Luffy never loses, and he believes more or less in helping each other out, and he kind of follows the rule of your right to swing your fist ends at my face. Kind of. If you throw a fist at my face, then I get to throw a fist in your face.
Right. But generally, Luffy's not going around just being aggressive for no reason.
Right. He has certain rules that he follows, but he has minimal number of rules. Blackbeard has no rules, and he will do whatever it takes, and he doesn't care who gets in his face, because he'll just crush them, but he will strike first as well, in addition to that. So
yeah, dark side of freedom, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
New information we got related to the Blackbeard
Did you
Pirates.
like these episodes? The new information we get about this?
Do we?
Come on, man.
We do the do you like these episodes?
Yeah, after the succinct summary, we asked if...
Okay, so here's the thing.
Okay.
My brain has not worked all day long. And I couldn't tell you why.
It's true. I saw you trying to plug uncooked rice into the wall socket to charge it so that it could, you know, be cooked rice. And I was like, that's not how that works. Where'd you even get that cord from? Because the cord was going into the bag of rice. I had no idea how you did that.
See, I was about to say, is that not how you cook rice? By putting it in a container that then gets plugged in. But you're saying that there was a cord coming out of a bag of rice.
Yeah.
And I was just gonna boop.
Yeah, you plugged the rice right into the wall.
No water or anything. All right, so listen, I did like these episodes.
Yeah?
Ivan is so cool and awesome and fun. And Crocodile is here once more, and everything he does and says makes me go, ah. And Bonchan is pretty good. Bonchan getting injected directly into the balls.
Technically, it was specified the crotch, but yeah, that's, for a man, that's, you know, either the testicles or the...
Shaft?
The shaft? Yeah, absolutely.
Are you uncomfortable saying shaft on mic?
Well, I wanted to use the most medically accurate term, and I realized, like, I'm not sure what to call it. Anyways. But yeah, Bonchan has too much energy, so you see him, like, spinning at, like, 70 miles an hour, and he's, like, kicking the army wolves left and right away from him, so that's pretty awesome. I, too, liked these episodes, but taking these episodes on their own, as an individual set, I have questions. If I wasn't aware of what was happening next, and I was thinking, like, ahead and trying to predict, it's weird that Shiryu ran into Blackbeard and then didn't take any action. And why is Blackbeard here in the first place?
Also, the second Shiryu was released, he cut down the guards that released him.
Not the second. He had enough time to say, sorry, boss, I learned my lesson to Magellan. And then he hung up the phone and then murdered everyone.
Yeah, he did ask them to light his cigarette first.
That's right.
Well,
Yeah. He didn't have a lighter. Otherwise, he would have killed them immediately.
You know who had a cigar?
Who's that? Crocodile? Yes.
Where did he get it from?
It's contraband. They have everything in
Ivan's got
Newcomerland.
it. They dressed Crocodile. There's a scene of one of the newcomers like tying his boots for him.
Crocodile just has big I'm in charge energy. He just walks into a room and people are like, what can we do for you, sir? They didn't even realize that they were this man's butler or maid, and yet here they are.
Absolutely. So, like you were saying, you had questions about these episodes if you didn't know where they were going.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of moving pieces, and, you know, at the time, it feels like this is chaos, but don't worry. This isn't chaos. Wait another 200 episodes and you'll see some real chaos with like 800 characters running around. But no, I really liked it. I liked that now Luffy and them are escaping and he's gained the strongest possible allies in the prison. I like that the 3 other Hell Beast demon guards show up and they seem all impressive, but Luffy, Jimbei, and Crocodile together are able to take them out in a single attack. It's just really cool episodes, but it is heartbreaking that Luffy did manage to get to level 6 and he was just too late. I'm confused how that happened because I thought Ivankov knew the exact time that Ace was going to be handed off, and so you'd think that they would have arrived early enough so that Ace hadn't been taken away. So it feels like Magellan had Ace leave early specifically because he thought Luffy might still be alive.
I think what happened was that Ivan was basically like, it's going to take you this long to purge the poison.
Mm-hmm.
Just kidding, it took you a shorter time because you're amazing. But Ace is going to leave at this time. Maybe if we hurry, since you sped up your recovery, we can get there in time. Like, he thought they'd see them on the way down or something.
Okay, so it was just a miscalculation type of a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. But yeah, no. These are pretty good episodes. You had a comment about new information that we learned.
I did, yeah. I was hoping that it would be a very smooth segue from when we were talking about Blackbeard to talking about Blackbeard's crew.
You know what I don't like about these episodes?
Tell me.
Jackbeard. He's a jacked beard. He's been doing so many push-ups.
His beard has muscles.
But Blackbeard is a huge jerk. He basically, like I said, he seems to almost be taunting Luffy, and I don't think that's his case, because he didn't know Luffy was here. I don't think he could have, and so he came here for some other reason, so he didn't have these taunts prepared on a note card, like, I'm gonna make fun of this rubber boy. But he is like, oh yeah, the only reason you're still alive and you're not being executed is because your brother interfered, so you should be thanking him for saving your life. And it's a shame he's going to die, but if you hurry, you might be able to see the execution. Blackbeard is such a jerk.
Yeah, he seems like a dick for no reason. But new information we got, the weird mime, tap dancing mime man on his crew has wings now.
Lafitte, I think is his name?
No, his name is the weird tap dancing mime.
That's his title, good madame, and he worked hard to earn it by tap dancing his way to the top.
With his Lafitte.
Yes. Now, we haven't seen Lafitte. The last time we saw him, he had shown up at Marineford, and he had snuck past the guards. This was when we were first introduced to Doflamingo, and Kuma. And he said, why don't you consider my boss, Blackbeard, for a Shichibukai? And they're like, what the hell? Get out of here. And I think that was because Blackbeard's bounty was too low. He was an unknown element, but after he captured Ace, he was able to get that promotion, that title. But this time we see him, he's clearly flying around, and that's very interesting.
You know what I think is funny about Blackbeard just barging into the prison?
Okay.
Blackbeard walking into the prison and saying, no, it's cool, man, I'm a Marine, is the same as that scene from Parks and Rec when Ron says, not to worry, I have a permit. And they say, this just says I can do what I want. That's Blackbeard. He hands him a piece of paper. This is my note from Marine headquarters. It just says you can do what you want. Exactly. And then he ha-ha-has them.
Absolutely. Now, there is more to this that I want to talk about after we get to the end of whatever Blackbeard's doing, whether he succeeds or fails, whether he gets punched off the island or sails away. There is more to this observation of mine, but I'm actually super proud of it. Luffy breaks in to Impel Down, using the aid of Boa Hancock, a Shichibukai who uses her status to smuggle him in. And Blackbeard breaks into Impel Down on the same day, or maybe, I guess it might be the next day because Luffy was unconscious for a while during the surgery. But around the same time, Blackbeard breaks in, and it seems like his status gave him some... Like, he stole a ship from Marineford, which he was only able to go to because of his status. So, Luffy and Blackbeard, the man who wanted 50 pies, and the man who thought the pies were disgusting, and the man who wanted 50 beers, and the other person thought it was disgusting, they're just opposites, and Oda is trying very hard to draw that point. It's not as explicit here as it was back on Jaya, but yeah, they both used the Shichibukai system in order to do something with the prison.
Absolutely. Well, and Luffy came to get someone out, so it could stand to reason, is Blackbeard there to get someone out? What else could he want inside the prison? Okay, so he might have gotten the Shichibukai title. Because, I mean, once you break into the prison and start killing guards and stuff, they're probably going to take your title away. That's my guess. Only if they find out.
Only if they find... Do you think he's going to kill every single person in the prison?
He could say ha 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 everyone there who would stop him. He's got the black hole, he can just suck them on up.
Huh. That's a good point, although, is there a limit to the amount of electricity that Eneru can conjure? Is there a limit to the amount of fire that Ace can produce? Because theoretically, I think you're right, but I also wonder if Oda would do that. I think Blackbeard probably has a limit to how much he can absorb, or something will happen if he goes past a certain limit.
That's fair. Devil fruits are physical too.
Imagine if Blackbeard killed everyone in the prison and blamed Luffy, let Luffy go, and everyone's like, wow, Luffy, why'd you kill all those people? You've literally never done that before, but for some reason you snapped when your crew was disbanded.
That's dark as heck.
Yes. Yeah, and I mean, Blackbeard's going down. Like, he came in on level 1, so he must want something deeper. Maybe he had a former crewmate who was taken from him. We know very little about Blackbeard, but it's very exciting, and yeah, we're just going to have to see where that goes. Also, I didn't mention this in the succinct summary, but Luffy goes gear second and jet pistols Blackbeard in the stomach, chest area, and knocks him back, and that's literally the last scene. So, it seems like there's going to be a fight next episode. We have already seen that Blackbeard has the power to nullify Devil Fruits. We know that, in terms of power, Ace probably outranks Luffy. He's a friggin' Logia, and he lost to Blackbeard.
In both power and range, his weapon.
Oh my gosh,
Luffy's.
That's amazing. But Luffy also has some allies here, not all of whom use Devil Fruits. So, who knows where this is going to go. But if it causes Luffy to delay, you can bet he's going to be pissed.
Devil fruits, or doots. I'm sorry.
You're full of beans today.
I know that's nonsense. The other piece of new information we got was that, that's not new. I was gonna say Dragon is Luffy's dad. That's new to Ivan.
Yeah, I do want to point that out, that Ivankov was very like, you should stay in bed, that surgery wiped you out. How could you possibly consider going to save your brother? And Luffy goes, oh yeah, my dad is Dragon. And it turns, that's new information. Ivankov was one of the commanders of the Revolutionary Army, and potentially could have tried to break out.
But he was waiting for Dragon to make his move.
He was waiting for something to happen. But when Luffy was like, that's my dad, it got Ivankov to be more on Luffy's side. Weird how Luffy always seems to have just the right thing to get people on his side. Weird that he had a piece of treasure that could lead Buggy to Captain John's treasure, and weird that he has a blood connection.
He's got the devil's luck.
I did want to bring that up earlier, and I wish that I had been taking better note of it, but have you noticed how many times they've brought up luck in regards to Buggy in these episodes?
No.
Yeah, I can't see, this is why I wanted to write it down, but Buggy just happens to be able to escape because no one knew about his powers, and then he happens to run into Luffy, and there's a lot of coincidences happening. And Blackbeard's crew especially are obsessed with fate. Doc Q, I think his name is, and Van Augur, the marksman, and the doctor mention that, fate is predetermined, so if Ace is dying and you're alive, then that means you're very lucky. But Buggy has also been incredibly lucky the entire time here. And we can talk about Luffy and Blackbeard being opposites, but Luffy and Buggy, in many ways, are also opposites. They both are connected to Shanks. One of them is immune to piercing, but blunt attacks works. The other one is immune to blunt, but piercing attacks work. So, I hate to admit it. Buggy might be plotly relevant to this story. He might have a part to play, and maybe he's not as bad as I think he is. I would prefer Luffy face Buggy as the final battle because I know that he could beat him in about 2 punches than Blackbeard, who might pose a serious threat.
You heard it here first. Buggy is Joel's favorite character.
No. I will quit this podcast. I am storming out. I'm slamming the door.
One of my favorite crack theories from the One Piece community relies really heavily on this next piece of information we got that I'm about to share. The reason Crocodile was willing to collaborate with Luffy and his team, or, cooperate, I guess is the word, is because Ivan threatened him. Ivankov said, "I know your secret, and I'll tell everybody if you don't do what we say."
And it is important to mention that Ivankov ran into Crocodile when he was a rookie, before he became a Shichibukai. But yeah, he alludes to some secret, and it clearly riles up Crocodile, not in the way that a normal person would be riled up, but you can clearly tell that Crocodile's like, don't say a word about that. And so he's kind of on not a literal leash, but he's on a leash. We also find out that Ivankov can turn his own sex on will. And I mean, I guess we already did have confirmation from Inazuma and the new comma display that Bonchan saw. But if you combine those 2 pieces of information, you arrive at what theory now?
Not only was former warlord Crocodile potentially a woman,
assigned
in his
female
youth,
birth, yeah, absolutely.
but he was Luffy's mother.
Okay.
Crocodile is Luffy's mom. We have arrived. I can finally make those jokes again. I made that joke really, really early in the podcast when we were still at Alabasta, and Joel glared at me and he was like, "You can't make that joke. That's spoilers." And I was like, that doesn't make any sense until you know the information.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to bring up without any of the kind of information about there's someone who can control hormones, but I agree that doesn't ruin anything in the plot because, spoilers, never does that come up. Never is it confirmed that Luffy's mom is Crocodile.
Now, do you think that is Crocodile's secret past, that he was born female? Is it possible that Crocodile was born Kawina, Zoro's childhood friend? Same hair.
I mean, absolutely. There is a bit of an age difference there, I would point out. I'm not sure. I do not believe that Crocodile is Luffy's mom under any circumstances. I know most people who say it are just being, crack theorists anyways.
Just memeing.
But even if Crocodile used to be a woman, why is that so shocking of a reveal? Why is that so bad that it would keep Crocodile under wraps, I guess?
Here's what I assume. If the secret is that Crocodile was a woman, I assume that Crocodile asked Ivankov to make him a man because he felt like being a woman was holding him back, was inherently weak in some way. And that might be related to whatever Whitebeard did to him that makes him want to kill Whitebeard so badly. So, maybe he suffered this really humiliating defeat and he thought, the only way I can be stronger is to become a man so I can compete with these other man pirates on equal footing. And so he went to Ivan and asked Ivan to change his gender. And that's like his secret shame, is that he was born a weakling. And of course, this is all like maladaptive thinking, but that's Crocodile.
Well, yeah, not everyone has a reason for what they do, but it's not always a good reason that people do things. I think that there is some interesting thought that comes from that because we already have Zoro hearing that Kawina's dad thought that she would never be a great swordsman because she's a woman. So we already have one instance of a place where someone's, gender held them back in some way. But I also I don't know, it feels a little bit too easy. If it was something, well, I don't know. I don't like it, and I don't know if I can put my finger on exactly why. We now know that Crocodile has a secret. We know that Crocodile ran into Ivankov, and it might have been related to Revolutionary Army stuff, maybe, if Ivankov ran into him. And we also know that Crocodile believes that dreams are shit. Anyone who's a dreamer is going to get crushed. You need plans. I still think that some tragedy happened to Crocodile. Maybe he wanted to be a great pirate, but I think it might have been something else. Like, I want to protect my country, and it got destroyed. And that would be why Ivankov is there, perhaps. And we also... Oh, never mind. I was about to say, we don't know that Crocodile was a pirate. Maybe the great secret was something related to him setting the sails, but Ivankov said... I met him when he was a rookie.
Well, and I've got a couple of points in favor of Crocodile was a woman in his youth. So, and I'm going to keep saying was a woman, even though Crocodile is a man now, because I think that that's how it would be put in the show. Obviously, when you're talking about a trans person or a trans character, like I hear a lot, they were never their assigned gender at birth. They were always the gender they and that they identify as. And I don't think Crocodile is trans, like you're saying. Yeah, you're about to say the same thing. That's what I was going to say, was Crocodile didn't choose to be a man because he wanted to be a man. If this were the case, Crocodile chose to be a man because of outside forces, I'm assuming. But the two pieces of information that I have that I think relate to him possibly having been a woman. One, his goal was to create the most peaceful country. And now if you look at how Oda writes men versus women... Doesn't that just seem like the dream in the heart of a maiden?
Okay, yeah, I'm swayed by that.
Right? And then the second thing is that in an SBS, Oda drew all of the warlords as children, and Crocodile is the only one not looking at the camera. You don't get to see him from the front or his face. And why? What's going on? What's the secret?
Okay. Here's another potential point. If Crocodile being a man is a psychological effect, not of being trans, but of some kind of perceived weakness or trauma or something, then that might also explain why he's got the cigar and he kind of has the swagger. Like maybe he is overcompensating and trying to be as manly as possible because he doesn't want anyone to doubt the possibility that he's a man.
Yeah, he's got the performative hypermasculinity going on.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I could buy into that.
I can buy into that, and it would make a lot of neat sense. I think there might be more to it than just, women are told that they can't be strong, because otherwise it just feels like it could have been resolved here. It feels like Oda very clearly foreshadowed that it was going to come up, but Crocodile's not the main character here. He's not the antagonist of the story. He's not really the protagonist, and so... I think that it might relate to something else.
No, I think you're probably right. Oda's twists always make sense with the information you have, but they are super hard to predict. Like, he never goes in the first place you look. He's a magician. He has you look at the hands. The closer you look, the less you see.
I remember a theory from Joy Boy. He basically went back and pretended to theorize about the Water 7, who are CP9, the identity of CP9, even though I don't believe that YouTube was really prevalent around that time in the manga, and Joy Boy himself wasn't a theorist. But he was saying that if you had assumed that Khalifa was a member of CP9, I think there was like one or two places that indicated that, right before the reveal... Oda dropped a hint that made it sound like she had been killed or attacked by CP9 or something like that. So basically, there was a potential twist that, maybe some people thought they saw coming, some people didn't. And then right before the reveal, Oda changed the narrative or made us look the other way like a magician would, and then he hit us with the reveal, so he tried to throw people off his trail. And so it's just a little bit too easy that Ivankov has like these hormone powers, and knows Crocodile's secret and that kind of thing. But I do agree that maybe there is something relevant to Crocodile not facing the camera. Or maybe Oda's just being a troll. Maybe Oda had seen one or two of these crack theories and been like, I know what I'll do to mess with them.
You know what else could be Crocodile's secret, since Ivan is involved with the revolutionaries, like you said?
Okay.
Crocodile could have been, like, a prince.
I'm telling you, man.
Country.
That's why that my theory is that he is, in fact, was a prince of a nation that got destroyed. He cared about it deeply. He got crushed. Maybe Whitebeard for some reason? We don't know much about Whitebeard, but maybe Whitebeard was the one who tried to crush the country.
Maybe Whitebeard was battling another strong pirate in the country, and their battle destroyed it.
Right, yeah. So, and then the country was destroyed, and you know, that frustrated Crocodile. Maybe Crocodile was a young prince. He was a scoundrel who wanted to sail the seas, and he didn't care about his nation. While he was sailing around, his nation fell, and he went, oh god, this is my fault. So, but no, the way he interacted with Vivi back in Alabasta was too personal. I think that he has some tie to royalty, or something happened to his homeland specifically. I think that's what got the first nail in his heart. I think losing to Whitebeard probably sucked, but Whitebeard wasn't like Moria was like, hey, my entire crew got wiped out. Kaido is a monster and I fear him. But we haven't really gotten that same impression from Whitebeard. He doesn't seem like someone who goes around just smashing cities to the ground.
No, he beats up angry boys and then is like, come be my son.
There we go. There's another piece of evidence that Crocodile was a woman at the time, because Crocodile couldn't be like, come be my son. You're a girl. And then he wandered off, and Crocodile's like, I'll show you. I'll become a man, and then you'll have to adopt me as your son.
And then Whitebeard was like, no, you're stinky. Crocodile cried some more. Couldn't find Ivan again to turn him back, so figured he'd just lean into it.
You know what? Absolutely. I would watch a spin-off series that were about the adventures of Crocodile as a young, angsty, whatever he was, whether he was born male or born female. I would watch that.
Absolutely.
So speaking of Crocodile, we got the Mr. One has been in a couple of these episodes in kind of the background. He was on level 4 of the Burning Hell, but when Crocodile is like, we're going to break out, they decided that they needed more men, and Crocodile specifically went to save Mr. One and said, do you want to get out of here? And Mr. One said, I wish I had written down the quote, something along the lines of, I'll do it because you asked. I was getting bored of this place anyways. We know that
I'll do it because you asked.
Right, yeah, exactly. Do you think that when Crocodile was a pirate, that Mr. One might have been his vice captain?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I would even go so far as to lean even harder into our Crocodile was a prince theory and say Mr. One was like his bodyguard.
Oh!
And they left the country together, and they've been traveling together this whole time.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Now, my theory about the Baroque works, or my headcanon, I guess, it's not really a theory, but I always assumed that he just kind of went out and he found powerful pirates or powerful criminals and basically said, come work at my organization. But again, that line about, because you asked me to, I'll do it, that just feels really loyal. And it would parallel Zoro's loyalty to Luffy. So I just think that they have a past that goes deeper than Crocodile's interactions with Robin or Mr. 2 or Miss Golden Week or any of the other people.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Mr. 1 and Crocodile, they're a thing, you know?
Now, are you saying that it's a romantic thing, or do they just have a really strong bond?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Absolutely.
I don't want to incriminate myself here, but yes, I do think that there are some romantic feelings, but I can read that into anything pretty much. Especially in anime.
Well, and we've talked about this before. Strong friendships feel like relationships. And I think there's especially I think it sets off people's alarms when it's same-sex people, 2 women and 2 men, because a lot of shows and creative works aren't courageous enough to actually have gay characters, so they kind of hide it a little bit, like they give you little teases. You have to kind of
scarf up what you get.
Right, and so whenever you see 2, men or women who are strong friends, it feels like maybe the author wants them to be gay and is just kind of like hiding it a little.
There is some delightful subtext with Crocodile coming up with another character, and I thought of a really funny meme, but I have to wait to share it until we get there.
I don't see Crocodile as Mr. One as being romantically involved. I'm sure someone in the hands of a talented fanfic writer, you could do a really good thing, but their personalities are just a little bit too stoic.
I don't know that I see them as being romantically involved, I should clarify. I could see Mr. One having romantic feelings for Crocodile, like that I'll follow you to the ends of the earth devotion.
Ah, okay.
I don't know
like
that
it.
Crocodile can have feelings for anything because he is a reptile.
Okay. Crocodile used to be a princess of a nation, like Vivi. She got crushed, and she decided that she needed to become stronger, and for some reason she associated maleness with being stronger. She found Ivankov, became a man. She was in love with her bodyguard, Mr. One, who is so devoted to her that he would follow her around, and supported her transition to maleness or whatever, and would join the Baroque works. But Mr. One knows that if they ever achieve Crocodile's dream of having a perfect, peaceful nation, Crocodile will transition back to being a queen, and then they can be together.
Okay.
Maybe it's something like that. That's really elaborate, and I don't think so, but maybe.
Listen. Fanfic is a valid extension of canon.
Absolutely. No. Okay, so I have one more question, and kind of inappropriate to ask real life people, but in fiction, does Ivankov's hormone powers
Yes.
change the genitals?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Because it changes their secondary sexual characteristics, so I don't know why it wouldn't change.
yeah.
What I assume is happening is that at like the chromosomal level, Ivankov is changing the person. I don't think it's actually hormones. I think that's just the easy way to say it. Because otherwise, how would you go from this huge bulky dude to this tiny, like, Nami-sized woman?
That it violates scientific principles of mass conversion, you know? Like, the titties aren't so big that it makes up for all the muscle that they used to have, you know? But yeah, so my point was going to be, maybe the hormones only kind of affect your appearance more so than, say, like your reproductive organs, at which point my theory would be bunked because they could still have children, although being pregnant could also be a sign of weakness.
You just took my hand and walked me into Mpreg Crocodile, and I can never forgive you for that.
No, I thought we agreed that downstairs... Oh, no, you're... Here's the thing.
Where's the thing?
Either you have pregnant Crocodile because Crocodile has a womb and such, right? But appears male otherwise. Or Crocodile is 100% a man, has, you know, a penis, in which case can't be pregnant. So there's no Mpreg here.
No. No, there is Mpreg.
How so?
Because Crocodile presents as a man.
Yeah, but that's just how he presents, you know?
So that makes him a man
Are you saying
who's
that,
pregnant.
Are you saying that, like...
Man pregnant. Mpreg.
No. Okay, wait. I got it. I know how we say this.
Okay.
Crocodile lays eggs. So just imagine a giant egg and Crocodile and Mr. One have their arms and legs wrapped around it. And they're both blushing and they go, "This is our child."
So is that our final thought? Or?
Is that?
Oh, they're like those two gay penguins.
Absolutely.
Did you hear that they kept trying to hatch rocks and they were so sad that their rocks wouldn't hatch that the zookeepers eventually gave them an abandoned egg and they raised it until it hatched and they were like the happiest penguins?
Oh my god, that's amazing. I thought you were going to say that they adopted a penguin. I mean, does that technically count if the egg was laid by someone else? But yeah, I thought they were going to bring a already birthed penguin, but that's even better that they raised the egg together. I would love for the egg thing to be the final thought. That was the perfect note to go out on. But I have a personal note that I have to bring up. Meant to bring it up in previous episodes, but now actually might be the perfect time. Jimbei, or is it Jimbei? I've seen it spelled with an N, as in Nancy, and I've seen it spelled with an M, as in mother. According to the Viz translation, I looked up the chapter he first showed up in. It's with an M. My friend Jimbei. Jimbei. That's not the important thing. My bone to pick is not with his name. It's with the character. What are your thoughts on Jimbei at this moment in time?
Okay, so first of all...
He's a Cool Ranch Dorito.
It's definitely with an N.
What?
As in Nancy, because Jinbei's name means whale shark. Okay. I don't think they've said so, but he's a whale shark fishman. Mm-hmm. I don't think that counts as spoilers. And if you look up the Japanese word Jinbei for whale shark, it is spelled with an N. So it is Jinbei.
Well, but they also don't have just a standalone M in the Japanese language. So it could be that it's supposed to be pronounced one way, but they don't have the character for it.
Hold on.
Okay.
I couldn't tell.
I'm just going to say, I have Shonen Jump open, chapter 528, Jimbei, First Son of the Sea.
Zolo, my guy.
You can write it however, you can spell it with an N when you're tweeting about the episode.
Okay.
But that's not the important thing. The important thing is Jimbei as a character. What are your thoughts?
He's interesting. So far we really haven't gotten any, like, what I would call characterization from him.
Okay.
He's sort of just there. He seems to really like Ace and really like Whitebeard, and I'm interested in where that goes. And he's willing to fight with Luffy, but, like, I don't feel any stakes for his character. I don't know what he wants. So
sure.
I'm kind of like, we'll see where this Cool Ranch Dorito man goes.
Now, we do know that he was a Shichibukai, so it's potential that he had not schemes, but he had his own adventures, but then when the war, the potential for war was looming and he was summoned to Marineford and he was like, I'm not going to fight Whitebeard, that's when he got thrown in. So maybe when he escapes, he will have more of a motivation in that sense. But yeah, right now he's very focused on what's happening right in front of him. He's kind of constrained in that sense, though. He doesn't really have options. I would say we do have a bit of a character for him. We know that he was unwilling to fight because of Whitebeard.
Specifically because he was worried about what would happen to the world if Whitebeard was defeated.
Well, yeah, I know, but for whatever reason, he took a stand that, as far as we know, Doffy, Blackbeard, Kuma, Moria, I don't remember, Mihawk, all 5 of them agreed to do the war, and as far as we know, without hesitation. Hancock said no, because she hates the world government, and Jimbei said no out of a sense of honor. So I would say that Jimbei, to me, feels like a paladin. He strictly follows a moral code.
He's a good dude, okay.
He does not deviate from it, but I find paladins incredibly boring, because there's no flexibility. There is a correct answer, and they're going to do it. You know, Captain America, I thought for the longest time was boring, and a lot of people don't like Superman as a character because, like, oh, they're just goody two-shoes. And to me, that's kind of what Jimbei is a little bit.
Yeah, I would like to see him, go a little feral.
Yes.
Personally. I will say, Jimbei is concerned about Fishman Island, right?
Yeah.
So that's where, supposedly, if Luffy ever makes it back to his crew, that's where they're going next. So
give it another 400 episodes.
Maybe Jimbei is supposed to be kind of a Lola type character, where this is a person they met, and knowing them will be important in the future.
You got me so confused, because at first I thought you said Alola, and I was like the Pokemon games? And then when I heard the name Lola and I realized that's what it was,
bunny.
I was like, from Space Jam? I don't understand. I'm so confused.
From Thriller Bark, my guy, which is easy to confuse with Space Jam, as they both play basketball against aliens. Where is my Space Jam filler arc?
Okay, I think that he seems plotly irrelevant. Luffy broke down into level 6, and we only got 2 figures that we actually, saw and got names for. I guess technically 3 if you count Shiryu. But Jimbei and Crocodile and Ace and Shiryu are the only 4 characters we've actually seen deliver talking lines and have names down there. So it's unquestionable that Jimbei is important. But when I was first reading this series, I didn't have any opinions about Jimbei. And he shows up here, and maybe something happens, maybe he joins the crew, maybe he doesn't, but at some point when I got on Twitter, I saw lots of people who are very excited about Jimbei, and they're like, oh my gosh, Jimbei's like my favorite character. I don't personally get it. I know that there are a lot of people who love Chopper, for example, and I'm like, okay, he's cute, so that's kind of nice, and he's kind of childish, and so in certain ways that's endearing. But Jimbei doesn't really have anything for me, and I'm going to try and take a fresh perspective this watch through of One Piece to try and figure out, okay, why does everyone like him so much? But my impression is that people latched onto him as soon as he showed up, and so far he hasn't done anything that's that impressive.
Yeah, that's fair. I wonder if maybe people got excited about him because he's a warlord, and we know all of the warlords are kind of like fun, exciting people, so they kind of extrapolated like what he might be like.
Yes, Mihawk, famous for being amazing at Twister and Rock Band.
Oh my gosh. No. Crashervania by Starbomb, but starring Mihawk. 'Tis I! I guess I won at Twister.
Oops, Doflamingo is dead. Hear that I have won a Twister.
And that has been your
do. Final thought, outro goes here. Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great day, morning, or night. And next episode of the podcast, we'll be covering episodes 447 through 452. Have a great day.
Cool Ranch Fist to your face. That's Jimbei.
Ha-ha! What a great episode of King of the What Now, your One Piece podcast that started from the very beginning and stars these two doofuses. If you want to follow us on social media, Twitter is the best place to do that. I am at KOTWN_pod.
And I am at Pirate Ghost Host.
Absolutely, yes. We share all sorts of thoughts on there, some related to the podcast, some related to other things. But you can also reach us through email at kingofthewhatpod@gmail.com, or you can also find us on Patreon. We would love some subscribers or supporters, whatever the technical term is. Patrons. So fancy and grown up. And you can find that at patreon.com/kingofthewhatpod. You can find all sorts of things like bonus episodes, and you get to see the full cold open candidates, not just the ones that make it into the episode. Maybe someday if I learn to draw, I'll put stuff up there. We're always looking for suggestions and feedback. And speaking of which,
please take a moment to rate and review our podcast wherever you get us from. So iTunes, Spotify, Scrivener, that's for writing. But wherever you listen to our podcast, take a moment to leave a review. It helps other people find us. We are so grateful to all of our listeners, and we couldn't do this without you.
Absolutely. Word of mouth is super powerful, so if you have a friend who likes One Piece and they haven't heard of us, just direct them to the latest episode. And if they hate us, they can tell us why. And if there's an actionable item, we'll try to please you. That's how this works. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.